filmmaker George Lucas.
And now it feels very much like we are in the after show.
For what?
For doing a good job on the show last year and this year, despite you're not perfect. None of us are.
No.
I think you do a good job, and we love you, and we love that you're a permanent part of the show.
But if there was one note, I would say when it comes to boots, less kicking, more licking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the show's changed. What were you saying, George? You think it's time for what?
This feels more like the after show. If it doesn't end in the next 30 seconds, I could see it going for hours.
So let's be clear. We're not sponsored.
Right.
But do we want to be?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if we can. I don't know if we legally can. Let's find out. Hang on. Bryson, can we be sponsored legally?
Bryson, can we be sponsored on Planet Scum?
You can be sponsored.
Okay. All right. So let's do it. So can we have everyone, should we set up a campaign?
Sure.
Oh, look at this. I didn't even, George, look at the little graphic above your head. Even that says stamps.com. No.
Where?
The little graphic in the corner above George's head. No, other way, George.
Did George look at stamps.com after show?
Yeah. So let's come up with a tweet to send to stamps.com.
Wait a second, Patrick. That's very small font.
Well, they got to pay up if they want it the big font.
I agree.
Enough.
That's what they're paying for. Right now, we give them the tiny font. It's barely selling any stamps.
Now so for the tweet that we want people to send, should we have people send a screen grab of it saying the George Lucas Stamps.com after show?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm going to play it again. Everyone take your little screen grabs.
Get ready. If it doesn't end in the next 30 seconds, I could see it going for hours.
What do we want the tweet to say? And I want to say this. I did sign up for stamps.com this week because I have to mail out a lot of packages.
Oh, tell a personal story that ties into why you signed up and what it's been like.
Well, I was thinking about how I don't want to go to the post office right now. It seems like a scary time. It doesn't seem like a fun time to be going out and having to be
famously diabetic.
And I don't want to have to be there. Oh, God, someone's saying do it again. Hang on. Here we go.
If it doesn't end in the next 30 seconds, I could see it going for hours.
Famously diabetic, don't want to go. I have truly. I'm gonna bring in here the thing I need to mail so far. Talk amongst yourselves, George Water.
All right, I can vouch for this. This is true. He's talking about this, that he has to mail so much stuff to people who donated for the charity show that they're sending him one of those little 5-pound scales, so he can print the postage at home or weigh the postage at home or whatever.
You're saying he went to like stamps.com, hit the microphone in the top corner and entered promo code check? For example?
Yeah. Promo code check, yeah. Patrick, did you do promo code check?
I filled this up and I was like, this isn't even half of what I need to mail out. And I said, if I go to the post office like this, I will look like a lunatic.
Yeah.
So I signed up for stamps.com. And I want them to sponsor us. So
you filled that up?
I filled that up.
I mean, I've heard of somebody feed Phil, but Patrick filled that up?
George.
Never heard of it.
That's a new one on me.
Patrick,
I've heard of somebody feed Phil, but Patrick filled this up?
I
never heard that.
What are you doing? Joke Week's not until September 2021.
Sorry.
Is that a special edition bumper?
It is a special edition bumper.
It's a CGI bumper.
Yeah.
What promo code did you use?
Let me ask. What promo code did you use, Patrick?
I did forget that I could have used check. I did use Bang Bang. I feel real bad about it.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Patrick. My God.
But there's no reason why you guys should be mad. There's no person here who would be mad that I didn't use check.
We've had two guests. We've only had How many Bang Bang guests have we had on the show?
I mean, a lot. A lot.
But how many main? Yeah.
Hosts. How many hosts?
How many hosts?
Yeah, we've had 100% of both shows.
Yeah, but one of them is only one host, and we've had 2 hosts. And look what you did, Patrick. Look what you did.
Look what I did.
What? What? What?
Lotto,
What?
I need you to ask the guest how they want to be introduced.
Oh my God, I don't even know what to do right now. Okay. Yes! If you can hear us right now, type in the private chat how you would like to be introduced.
And guest, it doesn't need to be real. It can be funny if you want. It can be real if you want. You do whatever you want.
Funny if you got it. Funny if you got it.
And I think this guest is going to help us come up with the tweet to send to stamps.com so we can get sponsored. I think that's what he can help us do.
We like funny. We should just make it clear, though. We like funny here. This is a comedy.
Yeah. Oh, they better be funny. Oh, boy, they better be funny.
Love to laugh, to quote Edwin and Mary Poppins.
It might not be joke week, but we like comedy.
Oh, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, Grogros and Gragras, it is my great privilege to introduce onto the George Lucas Talk Show, Stamps.com's CEO, James III.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for representing Stamps.com. Surprised we've been in business this long, honestly.
James, here's the thing. We're not sponsored, but we want to be sponsored.
We're looking for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
well,
we want,
putting in the word is that's the first step. You know, the more you talk about us, the more our ears will be burning, and then you in there.
Yeah. How would you recommend?
Now, let me ask.
No, go ahead, George.
Let me ask a genuine question. Now, Louis DeJoy is the Postmaster General.
Starting up hot. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's a scumbag. He's a scumbag. He's garbage.
Yeah.
Is he connected in any way to Stamps.com?
No, not at all. No.
Right, because he can fucking go dance in the river as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yes. Please, hopefully, Yeah. With no
his
music.
trousers all wet, dancing in the river.
That doesn't sound bad though.
It's not the worst. I wanted to say something that didn't sound threatening. It's, you know what I mean?
Sure.
It feels dismissive in a way that is not like inappropriate or irresponsible rhetoric. You can go dance in the river as far as I'm concerned. Sounds nice. You're imagining a low tide sort of situation. It's not dangerous. You're not going to drown. You're dancing around. You're splashing around. But it also sounds like you're not. It also sounds like they're not a part of whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? It's a way of dismissing someone without being hostile in a threatening manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
James, if you were to try to get a show of yours sponsored by somebody, what would you want a bunch of people to tweet at that company?
Yeah, something like, we need. Well, wait. It doesn't matter what the product is.
Well, specifically, we want Stamps.com because we've already made this bumper to show.
If it doesn't end in the next 30 seconds, I could see it going for hours.
So we're already branded.
Okay, yeah. The brand is there. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I feel like just sort of acknowledging what's good about the thing, telling them, like I like little sticky pieces of paper, like a thing that's happened to me, is I lose stamps all the time. Stamps are those things you always think you have, but you don't, and then when you go look, they ain't there, So just telling them how important it is.
James, this sounds like you're going into a tight 5. Write that down.
Yeah, because
genuinely sounds like you're like
stamps is you think you got the stamps, and then you look in your wallet, you ain't got no stamps. Because that's because there's all kinds of places you can put them. You can put them with your envelopes. You can put them with your stationery. But but when you look at your stationery, the stamps are never there. They're always there. You look at a piece of mail, it got a stamp on it. You can't reuse it. I mean, what's the deal? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
James, I'd love to see you.
Yeah. 45 seconds.
Yes.
I'd
love to see. I have a way that you could expand this bit. You don't need to do it now on the show, but on stage, when we get back to live performances, you're feeding off the energy.
Yes.
You could pad out the routine by a solid 20 minutes if you just speculated on a lot of locations that you think the stamps are, and then you walk across the stage to go get your stamps. You look for the stamps. And then every time you look out the audience, and then you increasingly lose your mind over the fact that the stamps aren't there.
Yes.
Do
yes.
a full act out for each location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's I think if everyone sends their own genuine tweet at stamps.com, tags everyone involved in the show on it, and say, hashtag, what do we want the hashtag to be? Lucas doesn't want to go to the post office. That's too long.
No, that's too long.
George Lucas talk stamps.
Okay. Hashtag George Lucas talk stamps.
That's perfect.
Send it, and maybe we'll showcase some of our favorite ones tonight on the show.
Or even
now, when you use stamp.com,
GLTS stamps.
Yeah. Okay, GLTS stamps. Sure, let's do that.
Now, with stamps.com, does this mean an end to licking the stamps? You don't have to lick them anymore?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I would think,
link?
the idea is that it's now the stamp is electronic, so there's no tongue to stamp content anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, I wonder if there's something if we could do about like something to do with like no more licks, or like save that tongue for something else.
Yeah. And then we could give suggestions of things that people can use their tongue for.
Yeah, but George, are you sure you want to go? Are you sure you want to go into this territory? This is sexually imaginative territory.
I wasn't even thinking of sexual. I was thinking about the way that Jar Jar, like his tongue will fly out. Show the hungry hero Jar Jar, Patrick.
James, do you like toys?
Oh, I love toys. Toys are the best.
What's your favorite kind of toy?
My favorite kind, just like an action figure with an appendage, like being able to, but like a movable,
Do you like stuffed animals?
If the design is right. Yeah, if the design is right. Oh, snap! This look at this tongue. It has an appendage. The tongue is
the tongue.
Show him, Patrick, show him the official name on the packaging.
Hungry Hero Jar Jar.
Okay.
Now, James, he says 8 different lines. Okay? When you squeeze them. Do you want me to read them to you?
I would love to hear them.
He says, icky, icky, goo. He says...
That's the first thing? Wait.
That's number one. That's number one.
Icky, goo. Okay. All right.
With that.
He says, how wooed.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Misa called Jar Jar Binks. Which you would think would be the first one.
Yeah, why is that not number one? But okay.
He said, Yusa Jedi are Kawaii.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He says, Maxi Big Da Force. Maxi Big Da Force. He
Also
says,
true.
We doed it. He says, Yahoo. And he says, ooey, mooey, mooey, I love yous.
I will say most of these are my favorite lines from that movie, but I'm trying to remember Icky Sticky.
Icky, icky,
I can't track where that came from.
He says it at one point, I think. Let's find out.
I think a couple of those lines are not in the film, especially
No, when he's walking through Mos Espa, he steps on something. And he says icky, icky, goo. I just like
poo-poo. A little bit of poo-poo on the ground.
There are 2 options with this guy. When you squeeze his hand, he talks, but when you squeeze his belly, tongue comes out.
Wow.
Which one do you want to see?
I have to see the tongue pop out. I mean,
Here we go. Now we found the only way that people can hear it is by holding the microphone down here, because that's where.
But also, Patrick, you have to hold Jar Jar in profile so you see the tongue. Yeah. There we go.
Wow. Wow.
There has never been.
I mean, I'm glad that got past all of the steps that you would need to go past to get made. Oh, and what is?
Someone also mailed me this, which is a chuba, which is something that Jar Jar eats, I guess.
Okay.
And supposedly, I've actually never done this the first time.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at that.
Okay. I mean, honestly, that's a great. That's a great.
It's a good point.
Also, it's interesting that you brought up all the steps that a toy has to go through. With Hungry Hero Jar Jar, I specifically said skip every step. Just put it right.
Skip. Oh, because this was all you had final say on all of this.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
And you told them to skip everything. You didn't want Misa Jar Jar Binks to be first? That wasn't a.
I said Jar Jar's unpredictable. He's not going to lead with his name. He's going to make the foolish social faux pas of saying icky icky goo. And what was the next one? Maxi Big the Force?
No, icky icky goo, and then
there are two before his name, which again, that was insane to me.
Icky goo, because the first thing he does is step in a little bit of poo poo.
Yeah. How wooed is number 2, George.
Okay.
And then how wooed, because someone pooped on the ground. Says how wooed. And then you're like, who are you? And he's like, Misa Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, this is a real question.
Yeah.
Do you think we could find this kid?
Yeah, you should book it.
I think we gotta find.
Oh my
this
god!
kid. I don't know how to do
step around.
That kid has big after dark energy.
Yeah.
James, how are you doing? How's quarantine going for you?
I mean, it's all right. My wife and I are getting through it. Keeping it.
I feel like you've been prolific. I feel like I see you tweeting about how much you've been writing.
Well, that's tweeting about writing and actually writing are two very different things. But I've been trying to crack some stuff. Haven't quite. Some things are escaping me, and some other things have gotten completed, thankfully. But I spent a lot of time in this room with just hammering away on looking at a blank page or. So hopefully the page with some actual writing on it. So
What's been your favorite thing that you've done during this?
Oh goodness. My favorite thing, period, that I've done the whole time.
Yep.
Wow, that's putting a
I don't need number 1. If you want to give me like 1 or 2 of your top.
Hold on. Let's investigate this question for a second. The question is, what is your favorite thing you've done? What have you enjoyed the most in this time of near unprecedented human suffering?
I mean, it feels tough to even pinpoint. It's like it feels like there were moments of there were brief moments of small warmth that I would have inside that would immediately get ripped away. So I'm sure something happened.
What do you like most about life in the pandemic era? What's your favorite? What are your pandemic fave 5?
Okay. I mean, this is actually the thing that my wife and I bump about, but I'm cool being indoors all the time. I don't mind not seeing folk, and whenever I interact with people in the physical, that's always awkward and uncomfortable. So not having to do that has been cool.
I'm a CGI guy.
Right. Yeah.
I love if it can not be real or we can just film it in the parking lot right outside. I'm happy.
If I could stare at just green all day, even, and just have have a conversation that I know is going to be finished late, it's going to be filled out later, that would have been the next step to make this just a little bit better.
To paraphrase the Michael Douglas character in Oliver Stone's Wall Street, Gordon Gekko famously said, "Green is good."
Yeah, there it is.
Line. That's his line.
Wow.
James.
Oh no, go ahead, George.
You love my buddy Steve's dinosaur movies. You love the
Oh
Jurassic
goodness.
movies.
Yeah, are you talking about Steve? You're talking about
Steve.
My buddy Steve.
Your buddy's Steve, right? Because first name basis and all
friend,
that.
my best friend. Yeah, we're first name basis. We're friends. We made all the Indiana Joneses together.
Yes.
You like to take a walk in the park? Is that
listen? Jurassic Park is life. It's on my wedding ring. It's on my wedding ring. There's an inscription. So I don't know if y'all can see this.
Hang on. Let's make you full screen. 1 second.
Okay. I should take it off. It might make it a little bit. Hold on. Okay. So here we go. There's a dinosaur landscape.
Yeah.
On the ring itself. And then on the inside, there's an inscription that says, it's a take on Life Finds a Way. It says, we always find a way. That was my wife.
Ooh, that's a special edition. You did a special edition on
it. That's yes. We did our best, you know.
A special edition for a special occasion.
James, you're telling me that your wife came up with a new take on a Jurassic Park line that would then be appropriate on a wedding ring?
Yes, she did. She did.
It sounds like make me full screen. Make me full screen.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, sure. Wife finds a way.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Otto. That's what I thought the ring was gonna say.
That is what it's. You know what? Fuck this ring. It should say that.
It should say that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do any? Did you do any in your vows? Did you do any fun paraphrases on Jurassic Park quotes?
We did some stuff. I had a couple friends of mine read a scene from Jurassic Park 3.
Wow.
Jonathan Braylock and Gerard Milligan from Astronomy Club and Black Man Can't Jump read the scene. There's a scene where Taya Leone and William H. Macy are in a tree, and they're talking about like how bad their life was and whose fault it is to be in this situation. And William H. Macy is like, no, I love you. It's essentially the message of the scene. And I was like, that got to be read at I decided that needed to be read at my wedding.
I'm surprised you didn't do a dramatic reading of the raptor saying Alan on the plane in the night. It's that one line.
No,
Alan.
we thought about that. I looked up what it would cost to get a raptor costume. Yeah. It's a lot of money, you know. And I wasn't going to do
it. Did you ever consider, even for a second, replacing the part in the ceremony where the person presiding over it says, "You may now kiss the bride," replacing it with, "You may now hold on to your butts"?
No, you know, that never crossed my mind, but I feel like that also would have been perfect. You know what? That wedding ceremony was trash. I'm learning.
Hey, you can always redo it. You can always do a new wedding ceremony where you were so preoccupied with whether or not you could get married.
To me today.
You never stopped to think whether you should get married before you had nailed every possible Jurassic Park reference.
You're right, George.
The ceremony that you could have.
George, you're right.
If there was,
it makes me feel good. You know, I helped Steve make it work. It's not my movie, but we were friends and we did it together. You know, like I helped him make those dinosaurs look right.
You did that, George?
Yeah, I just feel like me and ILM. There is an I in Industrial Light and Magic. Is something I like to say.
It's this guy.
Starts with an I.
That's all right.
That's me. Aye. And and then when we did that, that's when I knew, oh, these dinosaurs look so real that I can make things like Watto or Jar Jar Binks, and they will look equally real.
No, but there was a whole Stan Winston and his crew. I mean, not to not to tell you,
Stan in the place where you work. Yeah. Right?
Okay.
The place where he works is ILM.
Here's Stan. I'm waking the dinosaurs from my friend Steve. Don't take all the credit. Some of that goes to me, Stan.
And
wonder why.
But here's the thing, James. One of those people who always gets credit for working on those movies, and rightfully so, Phil Tippett did a lot of dinosaur work on those.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody feed Phil.
Somebody tweets Phil. And there's Phil Tippett working on some AT-ATs.
I mean, this is a very, y'all clearly have a very incestuous movie making relationship. I mean, that's clear. That's been clear since from, day one, you know. What is this? Why are you showing?
I don't even know how to set
It's a callback. James, it's a callback that we don't need to explain because it will take an hour, and I like where we're talking about things.
He's trying to backdoor a new franchise. That's all I'm going to say.
No, Lotto and Patrick, you guys got to get on board with the Butter Expanded Universe for 2021, or it's going to be a long year.
The Butter Expanded Universe. You really want people to be walking around saying the Butter Expanded Universe?
All right, George, let's explain it. Go ahead. Start off.
All right.
Can I?
All right.
Okay. All right.
No.
It's not like I can't believe it's not butter. Like Land O'Lakes.
Okay, James. James, you demanded it. You demanded it, James.
All right, James. You like Norman Rockwell?
Yes, I guess. I don't know what to say.
Because me and my buddy Steve, we love Norman Rockwell. Look. Okay. We made the whole book about Norman Rockwell. We got
from the collections. Wait, so that's a book of artwork that y'all collected.
It's a book about how me and Steve are the biggest Norman Rockwell collectors in the world.
Okay.
We love Norman Rockwell, and especially we love Butter Boy. Look at that's Butter Boy. He loves butter. He butters that bread. We love Butter Girl. Okay. Look how she butters her bread. 2 blocks. And
that's too much. Hold on, that's entirely too much butter.
Well, James, hang on. Wait, you thought that was too much? Maybe you didn't get a really good look at it. Maybe you want to see it on a tray.
Why?
Seeing it on a tray?
Okay.
All right.
Maybe that's too realistic. Maybe you want something a little bit more impressionistic. How about you like to see it in copper?
Okay. And there's 2 of them. There's 3 of them.
Copper.
Okay, wait. Is there more? Is this the end of it?
There absolutely is more. Absolutely is more. Look, she always butters in cubes of butter. She doesn't spread the butter. She just places it.
I think I see where James is struggling here. James, you're a 3-dimensional figure.
Yes.
And George and Patrick keep on showing you 2-dimensional representation.
Yes, I do have an issue with that.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the problem.
Well, no worry, because here is a 3-dimensional statue of Buttergirl and Butterdog.
Okay, look, I will say 3-dimensional is an issue I have. Also, there's no diversity. There's no diversity in the Butter cinematic universe.
Now, I think this speaks to a bigger issue with Norman Rockwell at large.
I mean, one could say it's literally a very white bread universe.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's white bread.
I will say this, James. I will say this. Part of the reason that Norman Rockwell quit doing covers for the Saturday Evening Post was because they would not let him do politically progressive paintings. Oh. And he moved to Look magazine, where I can't find it. But if you look up Norman Rockwell during like the civil rights movement, Norman Rockwell, who was known for being like this sort of like white bread Americana. I mean, we all know about the Kellogg's Cornflakes kids.
We all know about this.
We all know about that. Well, this is from 2013, James. This is from 2013. He didn't paint it in 2013, but that is a piece of 2013 Norman Rockwell merch from Cornflakes, Kellogg's.
Okay.
WK Kellogg. And but there are paintings that follow the Saturday Evening Post era, where he was painting about racism in America.
Okay.
And yeah,
it was like black people cutting butter, and they were churning the butter. Black people were churning the butter, and they were like, "Why are we churning this butter?" Like, and they had an issue with that. Mm-hmm. While the white people
we're eating the butter,
on their bread.
Yeah,
and then he broke that.
They didn't even know. They didn't know
that movie. I will support this universe.
George.
Okay. George, come back, George.
Yeah.
We have a James III endorsement in
Yeah.
play. We cannot fumble this.
Yeah. It just has to be, it just got to be smart. It got to be smart in the commentary, you know? And if the commentary
right.
hits you, you know, in a way, then people be like, I thought this was about butter. They'd be like, nah, it's about racism.
It was never
That's right.
about the butter.
Yep.
James,
It was never
James,
about the butter.
something here at the George Lucas Talk Show is we like to entertain you.
Oh,
We also like to educate you.
thank you. Yes.
So this fits right in with us.
That's great. Right in the mission statement.
The mission statement, yeah.
That's
Now,
beautiful.
I have a question along these lines. James, you host a great podcast, Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood.
Why don't you listen to this podcast?
Of course I do. One of my favorites. It's you and Joe Rogan Experience are the only two podcasts I listen to.
Okay.
Watto's a jumper. Watto's a jumper.
It just feels very like not the same in terms of.
I think they're very similar. But anyway, James, I just know you have very good opinions on film, strongly held beliefs.
Thank you, Watto.
There's a question that's been, I don't know, plaguing me for years, and I would love to get your answer.
Sure, anything.
Is Hancock a good movie?
Oh, snap! Watto? Okay. Watto,
Is Hancock a good movie?
We got Bateman. We got Theron. We got Smith. Who else? What else we got going on there?
I mean,
That's the main.
so that's the base. That's the meat and potatoes of the movie. You know?
Right.
Listen, this is a tough question. It's a question that has plagued mankind for centuries.
Yeah.
And you know, and I just don't know, because it's like the first half feels like one movie and the second half feels like a totally different movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I just can't reconcile which one of it I like the best, or if I like the whole thing, or what.
They definitely are two different films, but there are arguable merits of both films.
Yeah, but together, do it work? Like, do it work when you put it together? I mean, you know, because you know, like before they start, like, why couldn't it just be about a superhero who's, you know, down on his luck and like a kind of an asshole becoming better? Like, if you just do that, that's interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in that.
Right.
But then the love story, the sort of overarching love story, and the losing of the powers, and
Watto, did you know that friend of the show, Haley Marie Norman, plays Hottie in Hancock?
I do know that. Yes, of course.
Great.
Why do you think Watto is the one who suggested we should book Haley Marie Norman?
Yeah.
Check the receipts on that one.
I just feel like, you know.
Yeah. Do you feel, in a way, does it feel like they were trying to make Star Wars and Indiana Jones all at once, rather than making a clean distinction that this is one franchise and this is another? And if you want to have a detail that links the universes, that's fine. It can be an Easter egg. But you're trying to make two different movies.
You know, because they talked a lot about how Hancock, you know, there's like a deep well of material that you could just keep making sequels and sequels and sequels off of. And they just, like you said, George, I think you're actually right. I mean, they just put too much into that first movie instead of being like, maybe the love story and and we find out about the other people. Maybe that comes up in the next one, you know?
Right.
I would have thought that.
Have you read the original sex script, James?
I have not, but I know what it's about, and it feels like it's leaps and bounds ahead of what they ended up making.
Right, because it was called Tonight He Comes, which is questionable title.
Night He Comes, you know?
Right.
Like,
Night.
Wait,
you know, it's happening. Which,
George, the joke is that the title of the script was meant to imply tonight he arrives, but that adolescent minds could very easily clown on it by interpreting the title to mean
ejaculate.
On this very evening he will
about male ejaculation. Yes, this is how children are made.
Right.
Yes, I understand.
That,
funny.
that script is kind of like a relatively small character drama.
Right.
It's like
And now
this broken man. Yes.
is Hancock meant to be a joke because of the word cock means a rooster, but also a penis?
I feel like that's also there. There's like a layer of that as well in the movie. And
would it have been funnier to call the movie Hancock Tonight He Comes?
Sure.
I see it.
Yeah, that's
Is
funny.
that a better title?
That's funny.
Is that funnier?
I see it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Is it supposed to be the hand, like a self-pleasuring joke that it should be hand on his cock? Tonight He Comes.
Well, that feels like you need to save that for the porno parody. You can't go that.
I didn't. I'm just asking. I'm not saying. I'm asking. I'm asking. I don't know. I don't know. These are not. This is not my world. I don't make these kind of jokes.
Oh. Well, no. It would be better if it was like a.
I'm sorry.
It was the porn parody version of it.
James, you're a great comedian. You've done all areas of comedy, sketch, stand-up, improv, writing, and performing.
All areas, James. You have done every area of comedy.
Every area.
I don't know how
every
true
area
it
of comedy.
is.
Prop comedy, puns.
Quick, do a prop. Do
a prop comedy.
30 limericks.
Impressions.
What do we got here?
This is a duster.
What?
Oh my God.
It's funny.
You put a dust
because it's not
fluffer thing on the end of this, and then you can get all the area.
Yeah.
But
that's good.
Oh, percussive comedy emphasis.
Yeah, for the people know that the joke is done.
Political cartoons. You've done one panel political cartoons.
I definitely have. Can we put them up? Can we put them?
Sure. Hang on. Go ahead, Water. Keep talking.
There's like an overweight cat, and he's wearing a vest that says "Fat Cat." And he's holding a bag with dollar signs on it, and he's sitting in the White House or something.
Oh, by the way, just on social media to get people active about this, let's get the hashtag trending. May the 3rd be with you.
Thank you.
James the 3rd be with you. James the 3rd be with us.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Coming from you.
All of those. Let's get it trending.
That's pretty good.
Right? There's 3 different variants.
Is this one yours, James? Was this you?
Yes.
Yeah, you do all these. Yeah.
Okay. Fixing the leak. It's Trump is fixing the leaks.
Yeah.
He's strong, and there's leaks everywhere. See, because I want to make sure that people get this. You know what I'm talking about.
A couple of things going on simultaneously. Well, I was just going to say, as such a student of comedy, you must be aware that George, our very own retired filmmaker George Lucas, is responsible for the most successful joke of all time.
Financially successful joke of all time.
I don't know that I am aware of this.
Yeah, you definitely know the joke. You've laughed at it, I bet.
You laughed at it before.
You've definitely paid for it. You've definitely paid for it at least once, maybe more than a few times.
Wow.
A blockbuster joke.
Okay.
Do you ever pay to see a Star Wars?
I did pay to see a Star Wars, yeah.
All right, and you pay for Disney Plus?
And I pay for Disney Plus, yeah.
So right now you're being billed monthly for this joke. Everybody on Disney Plus, a certain number of pennies per month are going just towards that joke.
Okay. I understand.
The joke is, and it's in a lot of Star Wars movies, but I also put it in Radioland Murders. I put it in some of the Indiana Jones. I love the joke. I think it works in lots of things. It's also in other movies. It's in Fred Claus. It's in, I'm trying to think other movies. Somebody just tweeted at me today saying that they noticed it in another movie. Does anyone remember what that said?
Probably in multiple Kevin Smith films.
Wow.
Hold on.
George,
Let's see.
How's the joke, George?
What is this joke?
It's better if we really, really build it up because it's funny. Hold on. I want to see. I got to scroll back. There's a lot of activity on Twitter. I got to scroll back.
To make it clear,
back.
The best way to build this joke up is to let George look something up on his phone for 3 interrupted minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. The anticipation is killing me. I'm a. But I've also already seen this joke, so it's not going to pack.
Oh, the long kiss goodnight. That's what it was. Nate Dogg 2021. Nate Dogg 4th said, watching the long kiss goodnight, and Sam Jackson just said, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yes.
And the thing is, you can say it.
I have a bad feeling about this. That's all you.
Always is a big laugh. I have a bad feeling about this. Sometimes I'll say I have a good feeling about this. You can do variants on it. It's all makes money.
And the joke is so funny.
It's been in all the Star Wars movies. It's been in some of the Indiana Jones, been in regular movies, and every one of those movies, it adds to the dollar total that joke. And I'm not saying all of the Star Wars money goes just to that joke, but for a percentage of it does. And if you look at what the total of all of the films it's been a part of, there's no joke that you can attribute to a person. There are plenty of jokes that predate copyright and they're traditional. I'm not saying that there are commedia dell'arte things that exist, but those didn't exist in the era of where you could copyright and obviously other people are using the joke and not paying for it. But I'm going to add that to the total. Everything that the long kiss goodnight made, little of that goes to
you are owning. I have a bad feeling about this as a joke that belongs to you. Like that's
a joke that I created. I put it in my movies.
Yeah, Disney owns it now, but he made it.
Yeah, Disney owns it. I don't need the money, but artistically, I'm aware that whenever people make that joke, that's a Star Wars joke. That's a Lucas joke.
Okay.
And it works.
Right.
It works.
I just feel like you're being too precious about, I have a bad feeling about this you're being just a little bit too precious about it. I feel like you got to let this one go, George. You got to not.
My
you can't
precious.
be tallying up.
My precious.
George, turning into Gollum right now, George. You need to, George.
I need that joke.
Okay. Okay. I just feel like you might be able to find like a specific instance of like a commedia dell'arte, as you say, where like having a bad feeling about something, or like that sort of general.
Very different. I'm having a bad feeling about something is not a joke.
I'm saying wouldn't be that.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Okay. All right.
James, I do want to say that was George's second impression tonight. George, do you want to tell James your first one?
Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. I'm Happy Halloween.
Is that now? Look, here's the thing. I'm not gonna. I love Sandler. No shade to him, but is that a Hubie Halloween impression, or is that any of the other times he's done?
Happy Halloween.
Well, but James, let me do this. You ready?
Yeah.
I want to find my wife. What kind of impression is that? Is that an impression from Firewall, or is that an impression from 6 Days, 7 Nights? What you know? Like?
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Look for his wife in 6
a
Days,
lot
7
of
Nights.
Filled up in my head just now for that. Yeah. So you're right. You're right.
When in 6 days? Hold on, Patrick. When in 6 Days, 7 Nights does Harrison Ford look for his wife?
He's lost on.
Did you say this to Anne Heche?
Yeah, the pirates are coming for them on the island, and he's like, "All right, wait, I gotta find my wife before we get in this boat."
She's not his wife in that movie. That's part of the premise.
What an idiot!
I couldn't think of another Harrison Ford movie.
You couldn't think of another Harrison Ford? What about Clear and Present Danger?
Is his wife in that?
What about The Fugitive?
Yeah, The Fugitive. Well, his wife.
Yeah,
that killed my wife.
He's not looking.
You think I killed my wife?
I feel like he says that in Force Awakens, doesn't he? Doesn't he say that in Force Awakens?
Absolutely.
They're not married, James. They
I know, but it's the implied.
It's the implied. And it's hard to adjust. What about Air Force One, right? Remember that scene where he said, "Get off my wife."
Oh, you guys, we forgot to talk to Lou Diamond Phillips about Hollywood Homicide.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ. Patrick, you keep us on target for this.
Okay, wait a second. I have a solution. I know how to readjust, okay? let's talk to James about Hollywood Homicide.
James, have you seen Hollywood
I don't
Homicide?
think we want to do this. Okay, hold on. That's Josh Hartnett and what's the name?
Harrison Ford.
Andre
Carey
3000 is in that.
Yes.
That's all. This is all.
Yeah.
This is the end of what I know about Hollywood.
No, this is just the beginning of our hour-long interview with James
Okay,
III
all right, let's do it.
about
Let's talk
Hollywood
about,
Homicide.
let's talk about Hollywood Homicide.
Let's talk. We're talking Hollywood Homicide with James
Yeah.
III. You've
We're
never seen
talking
it, yes,
side.
James?
I've never seen Hollywood Homicide. Or
James, let's A to Z
Yeah.
it. Did you ever see? Did you ever see the NBC television show Homicide: Life on the Street?
I did see Homicide Live from Andre Brower. You know,
That's right.
solving a
Yaphet
homicide
Kotto.
every episode. Yep.
Right. All right. So we're part of the way there. What did you think of Homicide: Life on the Street?
Is that part of the way there? This is a totally different. Well, Homicide Life on the Street was great. I thought it was real. I thought it was, you know, I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that it was so, you know, for me as a young viewer at the time, it was like, oh, this is about Chicago. I thought that was something that was
Baltimore.
unique about it.
Baltimore.
It was like, oh, you know, this isn't about all these cities I knew at that point were, Baltimore, but it was like not, it was not
But
New York.
it wasn't. Yeah. Yes.
And that was where, you know, where crime was. Crime was in New York, you know.
Right.
This was like Life on the Street. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
now, James, you live in Hollywood now. So how do you feel about the Hollywood half of Hollywood Homicide?
Oh yeah, I mean, I generally love, you know, California. I'm in North Hollywood. I like North Hollywood. The actual Hollywood city can be, you know, not. It's like a lot happening. And
Have you watched any episodes of Homicide: Life on the Street since you moved to North Hollywood?
I have not. I've not watched that in years. I haven't watched it since, you know, since
Since it aired, or since
it aired. Yes, since it was on. Yeah.
Can I just quickly? I'm just looking at this right now. Can I please speed round some of the people who are in the cast of Hollywood Homicide?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
absolutely. And I'll do the same with Homicide: Life on the Street in a moment. So we'll really bring this together.
Because James, you said the only three names you remember as being in that film: Josh Hartnett, Harrison Ford, Andre Benjamin. Right?
Yes, that's right. Those are just them.
I'd like to tell you some other people who are in the cast of Hollywood Homicide.
Okay.
Lena Olin,
Okay.
Bruce Greenwood, Isaiah Washington, Lolita Davidovich. Now these are just
Can I also hop in and say Isaiah Washington's most recent credit on Wikipedia right now is a film that's in post-production called James II.
Wow. That's crazy.
We're
Yeah.
catching up to you.
Washington that's like a 6 degree of separation almost. Like we almost connected, he and I.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be
now all of the names I just listed are people who tend to be in movies, right?
Yeah. Correct.
They're sort of supporting actors you're used to seeing in films. Of course, our friend Lou Diamond Phillips, right? We mentioned him. I just want to now list some names, people who are not usually in motion pictures. And all of these people are in the movie Hollywood Homicide.
Mhm.
Master P.
Why?
Gladys Knight.
Okay.
Corrupt with a K.
Wait, hold on. Are they playing themselves? Does it say?
No.
Why
All
not?
playing Master P as Julius Armas.
I
Gladys
refuse.
Knight as Olivia Robidoux. Okay? Corrupt as Oliver Cairo
Wait, hold on. This
Robidoux.
reminds me of something that I'm mad at George about. George. So you produced Red Tails, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm a young-ish black actor. At the time of Red Tails, I was even more spry, you know.
Right.
And I'm saying you cast Neo.
Neo.
You cast Neo in that movie.
No.
Neo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not like an actor. You cast Neo.
Yeah.
That's messed up, bruh. How come I ain't getting
Neo
no
like
audition
Neo.
yet, brother?
Neo like Neo. What else can I say?
People like, has Neo acted again? I'm about to look this up.
He was on the NBC live production of The Wiz. He played the
Okay.
Tin.
Yeah, he's on down the road, James.
I didn't see that, but I would have actually loved that. I would have loved to see. You know, and this is no shade to act rappers becoming actors. You know, we was just talking about Will Smith.
Yeah.
You know, Method Man is also in Red Tails, and I would say he's one of my favorite actors. Honestly,
he's a good actor. Good fucking actor.
Great.
I'm saying you could have cast. It's a big cast. There's a lot of black dudes in that. I'm saying you ain't even try to.
You think did I cast too many black dudes in Red Tails?
No,
That's
you
your
didn't
criticism?
cast me is what I'm talking about. I didn't even get a.
Well, James,
did you audition? Did you audition?
No, George. This is what I'm saying.
Oh boy.
Well, I
could have found
you
me,
have
George.
to audition. You have to like. Well, now I'd put you in. Now I'm not making Red Tails now. Now I would have put you in.
But you could make Red Tools.
What?
You can make Red Tools.
I'm worried about getting too fun with the title of that film.
Or it's Red Tails, but the S is a 2.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, Red Tools. Jesus Christ, Patrick. Tool is a derogatory term.
Yeah. Wait, who's starring in this movie? Tim Allen? Red Tools?
Yeah.
Red Tools.
I mean,
Red Tools. A tool can be a euphemistic title, and red implies engorged with blood. It's a boner joke, Patrick. You idiot.
You want to make a boner movie?
Tim Allen, wild casting choice. Would not make for a good movie, but I think we would all watch it.
Yeah.
Patrick,
Red Tails
take Patrick off the screen. Take Patrick off the screen for a second.
Yeah, boot him. Boot Patrick.
I just want to confirm what I just heard.
I can't even believe what I just heard.
Patrick was just suggesting that I produce a sequel to Red Tails that will star Tim Allen, just so we can call it Red Tools.
And the movie's about boners.
Do I have everything right? Have I missed anything?
I think that is correct. But you got most movies about things that happen to black people historically star a white person.
Yes,
a lot of them do.
Right. But in Red Tails
has your boy Harrison Ford in it.
Sure.
Which one?
His part all the way up.
42.
42.
Oh yeah,
42.
But in Red Tails, the white guys are little tiny supporting parts. We bring in Bryan Cranston. He's just like, I don't like the Red Tails, and then he's gone. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's just a mean old white guy who doesn't get it, and then he's gone. It's just like you shot your afternoon. Well, that's a wrap on Bryan Cranston. So long. This is not your movie, Walter White.
Let me get this straight. I believe Patrick said that he wants Tim Allen to be the only character with dialogue.
Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea how tone deaf a sequel that is?
Yes.
On every level. On every level.
Those aren't. I don't remember him saying specifically that though. I mean, I feel like this is revisionist.
Thank you.
No.
This is revisionist.
I defer to your judgment on this, James, but I felt like let's ask Patrick if Tim Allen is the only character or just the main character in Red Tools. Patrick?
You know, I've been thinking about it, and I think it
is
might
this
work.
a Spalding Gray type thing where it's just Tim Allen?
I thought about it. It might work better if it's just him.
Oh, okay. All right, then. I'm
James, we know Patrick. You're right to have assumed that the better angels of his nature would take over. But Watto and we knew that Patrick has a real stinker of an idea here.
Absolutely.
And we couldn't be more disappointed.
I mean, here's the thing.
I'm going to read a couple of cast members of Homicide: Life on the Street.
Okay.
Richard Belzer as Munch from every TV show. Clark Johnson, Yaphet Kotto, Andre Braugher, Melissa Leo, John Seda, Giancarlo Esposito, Daniel Baldwin, Ned Beatty, Michelle. Michael Michelle? How does she pronounce it? I can't remember.
I believe it's Michael
Michelle.
This is a great cast. How long was that show on for?
John Polito. It was on for a number of seasons. I think it was like 5 seasons, possibly, maybe more.
They got to bring that back. They
122 episodes. They did wrap it up with a TV movie the weird thing about it is this was inspired by David Simon's nonfiction book about he followed around a real homicide unit in Baltimore, and it's sort of like a network, like rough draft of what would become The Wire. But what's interesting, if you watch the full run of Homicide, is that it starts off as attempting to be a very realistic take on what it is to be a cop, where like the first season just follows one case and they don't really solve it. And it just shows how it's like, it's not like car chases and shoot 'em ups. It's showing sort of the drudgery of like this job. By the time they had gotten to the TV movie that wrapped it up, the plot line involved the former head of the homicide unit running for, I think, mayor. And then he was shot and was in a coma. And all these cops who had retired come back to Baltimore to investigate, to solve the murder or to solve the shooting, which is not the way. It may be one of the least realistic police storylines, that people who no longer work for Baltimore PD or Homicide come back to town. They literally show Ned Beatty fishing, and he finds out, and he's like, comes back to town. This is how vigilantes work. This is not a vision of a useful. I
eat that stuff up, though. I just watched. I don't think you had anything to do with this, George, but I just watched that Battleship movie that they made. And there's a point in Battleship where they're like, where for no reason at all, except for tugging at my heartstrings, they go, oh, the retired vets, the retired Navy vets are gonna all come out, and they're gonna get this defunct battleship working again, and there's an extended montage of them like hammering on stuff and getting this museum battleship ready to go. And I swear to you, it's one of the greatest moments in cinema. It's
now, James, who's in Battleship?
Wait, who's in
Battleship?
Oh, Rihanna's in Battleship. Liam Neeson? Why do you have? Oh, this is another thing I'm mad at. Wait, hold up, George. This is another thing I'm mad at. I bought every single one of these cans. George, I bought every single one of these cans. They have no value, George. I bought them all.
He hates these cans. He hates these cans.
I bought every single one of these cans, George, and I collect them. I got every case of Pepsi. All right. I just wanted to get that out. I forgot that I was mad about that until Patrick pulled out a giant inflatable. And you have an unopened one, Watto? What is happening?
No, it's been tapped and drained.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
So
That was actually very
Watto loves to tap that Pepsi.
Yeah, tap that.
Guys, I have a you guys don't know about this, but I have something to show you.
Oh no.
I can't wait.
Drea's Bow at Drea's Bow on Twitter.
Wait a second. You're going to show us something on this live stream?
Yeah.
I hope we're not about to go tubing.
At least Pee Wee Herman was in an X-rated movie theater.
We're not going to. We're not going to. At Drea's Bow on Twitter made another Instagram filter for us.
Wow.
So anyone can be what?
Wait.
Oh God.
Let's watch it again. So if you guys want to find it, I just put it on my stories. I'll tweet it out if I can figure out how. But
that's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, James, you are our guest.
You are our guest tonight. We're glad to have you here.
We want nothing more than to make sure you have a good time.
I've had a great time.
And look, the time is not ending. I want to make it clear.
All right. I'll see y'all later.
No, stay. No. Stay. But I want to ask for your permission.
Oh.
Would you allow me to read 8 more names from the cast of Hollywood Homicide?
I feel like you have to, Watto. Please.
Okay. Eric Idle as the celebrity. Andre Benjamin, we already covered, but his character's name is Silk Brown. Okay? Dwight Yoakam as Leroy Wasley. Academy Award winner Martin Landau as Jerry Duran. Jeanette McCurdy, Nickelodeon star of Cat and Sam, as the Van family daughter. Okay, now these bottom four are where for me it gets real wild.
What?
Frank Sinatra Jr. as Marty Wheeler. Robert Wagner as himself. Now let's pause for a moment. He is the only one playing himself. Of all the people in the cast of this film, he is the only one. Is potential murderer Robert Wagner.
Idol hypothetically could be himself.
No, he's not. He's playing the celebrity.
Sure, but I'm saying, it's possible.
Anthony Mackie plays a character whose name is Killer Joker. So Killer is not in quotes, but Joker is. And finally, Smokey Robinson as Cabby. What is the fucking cast of this movie?
It also gave us this. Which I believe, if I remember correctly, I've seen this movie before. I believe that might be Jeanette McCurdy's bike.
Okay.
James, will you allow me? Will you allow me to read 8 more names from the cast of Homicide: Life on the Street?
George, if you must, then please do.
Steve Buscemi, Alfred Woodard, Paul Giamatti,
the cast is getting better.
Melvin Van Peebles, Elijah Wood, Howie Mandel, Robin Williams, Nancy Marchand, Lily Tomlin, Chris Rock.
How do they not reboot Homicide: Life?
Now, James,
on the Street. What's it called?
Do you mind if I read 8 credits from Streeter Seidel's IMDb page?
I never want the reading of credits to end. Please.
He played Troy Dittmeyer in the David S. Pumpkins Halloween special. He had a cameo.
Acting credits, writing credits, or
these are acting. These are acting credits.
Okay.
He had a cameo in the movie Coffee Town. It just says cameo. He was in something called I Love the 1880s. He played Businessman 2 in something called Amateurs. He played Streeter on the College Humor Show. He played a man named Seymour Plunkett in The Old Man and the Seymour. And he was in something called Full Benefits playing Streeter. I don't know if that's 8, but I stopped counting, so I think that is.
Now, James, you are our guest. We want you to enjoy this show. So it would only be polite if we extended the offer to you.
Yes.
Are there 8 names you'd like to read from anyone's credits?
I would like to read 8 characters that Neo has played since being in Red Tails.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Guest mentor on the Fear Factor.
Good character.
Great. Good role.
Guest host on Nevermind the Buzzcocks.
Yep.
Himself, 90210.
Sure.
Secret Service Agent Devereaux. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no. Himself, Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I at? I can't count. The Tin Man, we already talked about. Tin Man. And then Marcus on the Mindy Project.
Sure.
And the shame is you would have crushed every single one of those roles.
That's what I'm trying to say, Waddle. That's the trajectory I could have been on.
Yeah.
George?
You could have been on Helpsters. You could have been the musical guest on Helpsters.
I could have been.
You could have been in 20 episodes of Step Up High Water, the YouTube original series.
I didn't even know they made that. I didn't even know they made that. But they kept making Step Up movies. And I could have been in them.
It's not about what you believe. No. Got nothing to do with any kind of religion. No. Call it what you want. The point don't matter much to me. No. Unless you treat it like exactly what it is. Not what it isn't. No. And what it is a season of love for no reason but love and love alone. Not my words, James III. Those are the words of Neo.
I knew it.
From his holiday song, It's for Everybody.
Okay.
And I think it doesn't just apply to the Christmas holiday season. It also applies to movies and show business that we want everybody. I would love to remake Red Tails now and put you right in there, flying a plane, shooting Nazis.
That's all I want to do, George. That's all I want to do.
Hang on, I just thought of
here's
something.
the thing. You will get to shoot Nazis in a film or a television show, James. You will. You don't need me to do that. I'm retired. I'm an old man. I'm making museums. But don't you let that stop you from killing Nazis in movies.
Okay.
You can make your own movie where you kill more Nazis than I could have dreamed of.
You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to write a movie called James.
You know what I love to do? I love it. I love it when Nazis...
You're Wagnering it.
That's right.
You're Daddy Wagnering it.
That's right.
I'll tell you a fun thing I like. Get something that the Nazis really want and you get them excited about it, and they open it up like it's a fun present, and it melts their fucking heads off.
Okay, wait. So what's something that the Republicans really want? Congressional seat in the GOP.
How do you put that in a box, though?
It's tough.
You tell them that there's 11,000 Georgia votes that are in a box, but it's really something that's going to melt their head off.
Wait, actually, yeah, I would. That's how James III killing Nazis ends. See, that's what. Yep, there it is. There it is. I'm ready.
You put the vote in the box.
James, a few months ago, it's been a while now at this point.
Yeah.
We watched Mariah Carey's Holiday Sketchtacular.
Oh.
And I want to know, what was it like playing choreographer in that? We had director JD Amato on, spilling all the tea. So if you got tea, let's spill it.
I've never seen it, and I don't even know if I ended up being in it at the end. But
it's on Amazon Prime Video.
Oh my God, I have to find it now. But yeah. It's the greatest day of it's still one of the more memorable times on set I have ever had. And it's because, Mariah Carey was there and existed. And that was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I did get there at the start of the day and didn't do anything until the end of the day. And so that is also another thing that's memorable about it to me. I was like, oh, I was here really early, but like, in a way that I think is too early. Because see, here's the thing. Right. I don't like when actors, are like bitchy about their call times and stuff. Like it's like you gotta they want you there at a time. You gotta do you have to do your job. I do think that I was called too early on this day. Like if I'm not doing anything until the end of until if I don't have anything to do until 11:35 p.m. and you call me at 8 a.m., I'm upset. Okay. And I don't remember if it was that big of a leap, but that's pretty close. What I just said is pretty close to what actually happened. So, but it was a great day. It was really a fantastic day.
It's fun when they do that kind of thing where they're like, no, we really need you here at 8 a.m. And you look at the sheet and you go like, this is called the Mariah Carey Holiday Sketch Spectacular.
Why am I
in every scene and she's not called until 6 p.m.
Yes. That's a problem.
Just to confirm, it is still on Amazon Prime. It's listed as season 1.
Why are y'all making me watch this tonight? That was so long.
I believe we got some scoop. We got some scoop. Yeah.
George.
Yeah.
Should we all watch it together?
Sure, let's watch it.
Just the episode that James is in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't make me look at this.
Which episode is he in?
He doesn't want to watch it. It's okay.
He doesn't.
All right. Okay. Fine. We'll watch it when you're gone.
But
We'll
I
pay tribute to you.
I do want to say, I got a lot of shit earlier for not getting Lou Diamond Phillips' take on Hollywood Homicide.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand. Yep. I understand.
You screwed up.
I didn't screw
Wow.
up.
My goodness.
Oh,
Yes.
plucking eyebrows, shaving legs, but I rock those heels. What does he say?
Lou.
Yeah. This is the stuff.
Lou replying to this right now. Lou's the man.
Lose the man.
Lose
Yeah.
the crowd.
Lose
I'm
the
going to
man.
retweet it from our Twitter. Make sure we get a lot of traffic on this.
A good friend. Lou is a good friend.
Lou, I don't remember the context for what it is in the movie. I don't remember if he's undercover or
He's looking good.
he's looking good. He's
He's
looking
looking good.
I cannot remember.
That is a good look.
Someone is saying he plays an undercover cop. I believe, yeah.
This is a great
Oh,
look
baby.
on Lou, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Harrison's looking great. He's dirty in the shot. Harrison's dirty in the shot. Let's bring it up again. Show how dirty he is in the shot.
Meaning he's like in the he's not
Out
dirty.
of focus. Yeah,
He's out of focus.
he's dirty. Trust me.
Which means
Trust me.
he's
Harrison's
doing
dirty in this shot.
He's doing
He's
the
like-
coverage for the other actors, you know? He's not
like
he's not off
Pigpen.
camera in it.
It's not
He's
a
like
criticism.
Pigpen. He's
I'm
got some
praising
flies
him.
and dust around him.
James,
Don't
do
do
you
that.
like doing off camera dialogue for scenes?
Yeah, you know, so that it can be authentic.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I like to feel, you know, I want it to feel like, and also if I haven't shot my part of it yet, that just gives you more time to do your thing, you know,
Yeah.
with the person who you're doing it with. Yeah, no, I love that.
James, you have been writing for the All That reboot,
Yes,
and you are drinking out of a Rugrats pint glass.
I am. Mm-hmm.
You are on the payroll of Big Orange. Now, I am curious, is there, because Rugrats being rebooted, All That rebooted, is there a Nickelodeon show that you would like to reboot? Is there one
Watto,
that if you had the blank check, so to
Watto.
speak, you would reboot?
okay,
Why would you use that phrase, Wada?
just
You
one.
use the code check at stamps.com.
Right, that's why I use that.
One. It's hard because there are many, Watto.
Okay, you can give a couple of honorable mentions, but I want to hear what would be the number one.
Number one. Okay, so then the number one would have to be there was this Tommy Lynch show called The Journey of Alan Strange, which was about an alien who was left behind. It's very ET, but then he can talk and stuff. And he looks like a little black boy. RJ Smith played this part, and when he was in The Day After Tomorrow, somebody at work asked me if I was in a movie over the summer. And I said,
Wow.
they were, and I was like, no. And they asked if I was sure. they asked if I was sure that I was anyway. But the Journey of Alan, you know, and he holds up with some kids who are just sort of helping him make his way home. I would love to reboot that one. That's the number one. You know, but then there's some others. You know, My Brother and Me up there. I would love to do that. That's honorable. You know, Alex Mack. They could just bring that back. That'd be fun to work on that. You know.
Did you fuck with Cousin Skeeter at all? 'Cause I think about the audacity of that premise a lot, which is just this kid's got a cousin and his cousin's a puppet.
Yeah, that's funny.
What is this?
I believe this is a Hollywood Handbook parody.
Yeah, this is on the podcast for the George Lucas Podcast Network.
Yeah,
I love this.
that's
I
from
love that.
Turner. All right.
Bill Bellamy played the voice of Skeeter, and that was hilarious. 702 did the theme song. I enjoyed that. So and Robert Rashad was the lead, and Megan Good were the main cast, and I loved them working together. It didn't bother me that he was a puppet. I was like, yeah, he's a puppet. And
I mean, I genuinely view it as a compliment. Like, I wish more shows had that kind of inner logic where everyone's like, his cousin's coming to visit, got to warn you, his cousin's a little wacky, and the cousin shows up, and they're like, this guy's a fucking puppet. This guy, we're not going to call it out, but the thing that's different about this cousin is we are made out of flesh and blood, and he is made out of felt. He is a fucking puppet.
Oh, it was beautiful. It's a very beautiful show.
Great show. Great show.
You know, I wish it went on forever, but it did.
Cousin Skeet.
It did.
James, veering back to the topic of Hollywood homicide and homicide life on the street.
Okay.
Barry Levinson was the executive producer of Homicide Life on the Street. He was also the director of the motion picture Jimmy Hollywood. Have you ever seen Jimmy Hollywood with Joe Pesci?
I have not seen Jimmy Hollywood.
It features a cameo from the star of Hollywood Homicide, Harrison Ford.
What?
At the end of the movie.
James, and to be fair, you have been on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Right. And then there's a Jimmy because of that.
And you live near Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean,
Have you ever seen Hollywood Shuffle? Did you ever see the movie Hollywood Shuffle?
Oh, I'm sorry.
James,
you went.
Did you ever see the movie Hollywood Shuffle?
So I went on. Okay.
We're shuffling around a lot of different film titles. Did you ever see Hollywood Shuffle?
Oh yes, I've definitely seen Hollywood Shuffle. Yes.
What are your thoughts? Because that was a very famously paid for on his credit card to make that movie. That was one of the sort of the I've done that where I've like paid for a movie on my own. I did that with Menace. I did that with Loans. Obviously I was in a better position when I did those, but like there is that thing where you're putting it all on the line. You know, there were earlier when I was really trying to start up with Empire, I was sort of risking everything because I know my mentor Francis had tried and failed to get that kind of independence.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on Hollywood Shuffle?
Listen, again, yes, you were in a totally different position. I actually don't consider you financing those movies the same at all. But
no,
I don't think it's remotely close. But
they all resulted in great movies, is what I'm saying.
But did they though?
Did you what movie? Which you didn't like Hollywood Shuffle?
No, I loved Hollywood Shuffle. I'm not going to talk.
I'm confused. James, I don't understand what you're saying.
Hollywood Shuffle was really great, George.
Right,
and
you like Phantom.
Hollywood Shuffle.
You like Phantom Menace. You like Attack of the Clones. You like Revenge of the Sith.
I really loved Hollywood Shuffle. Robert Townsend is really great in it. It's directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans.
This is where I'm bumping. Is you say that you like Hollywood Shuffle, which means you like all four of those movies.
What are you saying?
Well, there are four movies, and the only one that was in question was how you felt about Hollywood Shuffle. We all know how you feel about Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. So, book closed, right?
I just want to correct myself. Keenan Ivory Wayans co-wrote it. Robert Townsend, of course, directed.
You're making a lot of mistakes. It's okay. You're saying things that are confusing. We don't understand what you're saying. We get it now. You misspoke before. We get it now. You like all the movies we're talking about.
I really enjoyed Hollywood Shuffle, especially there's a scene where they're in an audition and there's the acting black commercial for the black acting school. Right. That's really funny.
Yeah, Phantom Menace is funny too. Yeah, comedy's great. I always find.
Okay. Yeah, I
always find that James, you do a lot of comedy, and I always find that comedy is very funny. It makes me laugh, and it amuses me, and it feels satisfying when you make people laugh.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I admit. Yeah.
No, I'll go even further than that and say few things make me laugh harder than comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll go even further than that. I'll say even aside from comedy, that few things make me laugh more than things that I find funny.
Yes.
Or amusing.
Yeah. There are times that things that I'm sad about make me laugh, though. That's like the number two.
That's alt comedy, right? I understand that. That's an alt comedy, like Beef House, right?
Yeah, right.
Sure. No, yeah, sure. Alternative.
Yeah,
Alternative comedy is
kills it over
when
the
it's
edge.
like, this isn't funny, you should laugh at it. We're doing a different thing. Alt comedy.
Just like Beef House.
Like Beef House?
Do you know what Beef House is, James?
You know what Beef House is, James?
I feel like I'm in the know. But if you want to explain what Beef House is to me, I would gladly.
Well, I'm not gonna explain Beef House to you. If you already know what Beef House is, we're on the same page.
It's a fucking Tim and Eric Adult Swim sitcom that retired filmmaker George Lucas inexplicably mentions once a week. He loves it.
I think he's exaggerating. I've mentioned it a few times tonight, but I probably haven't mentioned it in a month.
I don't know if that's true.
I think we did yeah, maybe not, but I think we did an 18-hour show in which I maybe mentioned Beef House maybe once. Beef. James, what's your favorite kind of comedy? Do you have a favorite or a least favorite?
I don't have I don't have a least favorite, I guess I should say. Because I do.
Oh,
okay. What is your least favorite?
Hateful or cruel comedy.
Oh, okay, sure.
I don't like
sometimes I really like that though. Sometimes I really like when it's like sticking it to somebody, or like
no, but not if that's righteous. No, that's righteous comedy. I like righteous comedy.
We're not talking about your political cartoons. No.
Okay.
I love it when someone will draw like the globe or like a big round globe, and then they'll write the word deficit on it to show how big the deficit is. That'll get me laughing.
Yeah, hilarious.
Can I share my least favorite kind of comedy?
Please, why?
Unfunny comedy.
Yeah.
Wait,
I never had a taste.
The question becomes: is that if it's not funny, is it comedy?
In my eyes,
I will say, with the exception of alternative comedy,
right?
That's a carve out. That's what we call in comedy. We call that a carve out. It's sort of a legal term. I don't mind unfunny comedy as long as it's an alternative comedy. If it's alternative, I'll be like, this isn't funny, you guys. And then they'll say, we're doing alt comedy. I'll say, oh, I'm so sorry. Very funny.
Yeah. So like unfunny, like slapstick comedy that's on the list.
Slapstick's very funny. Like when something or someone has pooped somewhere, and then someone else is walking through it and they step in it and they say, icky, icky goo.
Come on.
Yeah. See,
maybe not with that line. Maybe not with that line, but that is funny to somebody stepping in poop, somebody slipping on poop. And
you're right. It doesn't have to be that line. Sometimes he can be like, whoa, whoa.
Sure. Yep.
James.
That's funny too.
Yes.
How do you think Waiter from Modern Family is holding up in 2021?
Great question.
Honestly, it's probably a tough scene to watch because it's a very public restaurant.
Let's set the scene. How does Waiter intersect with the Dunphy clan?
Yeah, so he works at like a wing joint, and there's a trivia night going on.
Yeah.
And so he slides over to Phil. Oh God.
Haley.
I can't remember who I was in the scene with. I can't remember who all I was in the scene. But he slides over to Phil, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to play this? Do you want to play trivia tonight, or do you want wings or whatever?" And that's that's what he does, and he's been doing that all night. Is the thing. And what I went into the
somebody you played the somebody who feeds Phil, James.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I was the somebody who fed Phil. I fed Phil.
This is an exclusive. We have an answer to Phil Rosenthal's question, and it was right in front of us the whole time.
Yep, It was Waiter in Modern Family.
Where did you film it? Was it on location?
It was on location at a restaurant. Yes. Fred Savage was the director of that episode.
Moly Mole.
Yes, that was exciting for me. I had to do a lot of stuff with hats, and that was scary. Like whenever you got to do something, you weren't expecting you had to do. They were like, "You're also going to do the hats," and I was like, "Oh man, I wasn't ready for doing the hats."
Right.
Yeah.
At any point when you were being directed by Fred, could you hear Daniel Stern's voice speaking his thoughts aloud?
I have to tell you, there were definitely pauses where I thought this is where the narration would go.
So that's a scoop. They do it in post.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Definitely
That gives you the freedom.
Possible that Daniel Stern is still talking in his head. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
James, tell me about Black Mirror. I love Black Mirror.
What do you want to know?
Where'd you film it? Where'd you film it? First of all, where'd you film it?
Now, well, you worked with Miley Cyrus.
I did work with Miley Cyrus. I flew to South Africa. It's the only like stamp in my passport that I have.
Wow.
And it was very nerve-wracking for me. I was very nervous and scared. And I got I broke out in pimples. And I thought that every shot you were going to see a bunch of horrible pimples, but the makeup people were fire.
Wow.
None of that shows up on screen. And people like to criticize and gawk at that young woman's behavior. But my best friend Leslie says that she's just being Miley. And I feel like we all need to keep that perspective.
Yeah.
Just being Miley.
That's what my best friend Leslie says.
Yeah. Your best friend.
My best friend Leslie, yeah, she says, I asked, I go, what's going on here? And she goes,
Miley.
Were you a Hannah Montana fan?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
You didn't
Disney.
have that. Wasn't distracting.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. That wasn't distracting. I wasn't confused as to which one she was at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
James, I don't think you're an idiot like Patrick. I knew you wouldn't be confused.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure of the way that it would, but like am a fan of her music, so there was that element of
right.
Were
you ever tempted to sing one of her songs?
Was that?
Did you ever serenade her?
No, because that would have been. I would have got. I can't sing. She can sing. I can't sing.
Do you think you would have gotten fired if you'd serenaded her?
No.
Good.
I
Now,
don't think
if you thought I want to sing her a song to show that it's been nice working on Black Mirror with her, what song do you think you'd choose?
I would probably sing there's a song in the episode that she sings, and it is like a song about like being like happy. So I would have probably like sung like an interpolate. I would have like slowed it down or something, saying that back to her.
Yeah.
Now, James, we are forgetting a major co-star and scene partner that you had working on that show.
I can't imagine who you could be.
CGI.
Yes.
Now, too. That whole episode's about the little CGI toy.
Yes. I didn't get to work with the CGI toy. I'm not in any scenes with the CGI toy, but I did have
for you.
Yes. I was just never never in any scene with that. But I did do a lot of I did have like a panel of things that didn't have any buttons on. And I had to use my, I had to intuit where the buttons would be, how the buttons would work, And so that was
with consoles.
Yeah. And they then put in the lights and stuff later. So
now you're in that episode with Draw.
I am, yes.
Was that fun that you both got to share the experience, or was part of you like, this is my thing? Stop copying me.
It was here's what's odd about it is we both auditioned for that part that he played. And I never saw this part that I did. So when I got it, I didn't know what was going on. So I was
right. He's
was
busy G.
Yeah, and I was like just happy that the person that got the part I like know and love.
You're a good friend. You're a good friend and collaborator. You support your peers.
Yeah, and then we weren't there at the same time, so like we overlapped. But I got there first and then left, and then he shot his stuff.
Oh.
Do you think they created the character for you?
No, I don't think that. I think that this character was a part of the.
But we don't
script.
know. But we don't know.
The truth is that we don't know, and maybe they were like, you know what, we'll create a whole part for him. I can't see why they would do that.
This guy's not busy G, but he's great. We got to find something for him. Like, the script's done. I was like, no, it's not. It's not.
No, it's not. Here's another character.
It's fucking. My name is Charlie Booker, and it's done when I fucking say it's done. Does he have a British accent?
Yes, he does.
What's it sound like? Let's do your best Charlie Booker.
I can't do it, but I wouldn't say that it was. I wouldn't say it was posh, you know. But
right.
it is like a polished. He does have like he's very eloquent.
Booker.
Tonight,
So,
George. Tonight's your
yeah.
impression tonight, George. So give
Right.
us a few different options, and James
Right.
can say which one is.
Ooh, I'll tell. Okay, wait.
I'll try some Charlie Brooker. I'll try some Charlie Brookers, and we'll see.
What's the line?
What's
the line going to be?
Yeah, you give me the Watto or James. You give me the line, and I'll do the Charlie Brooker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
James. I mean, James worked with.
It's like you know, something like the mirror's the mirror's not black enough.
What? The mirror is not black enough. The mirror is not black enough. I don't think the mirrors are black enough.
Now, George, now, George, quickly, can you do a Hubie Halloween impression?
Right.
Now say it as Gollum.
That's a mirror. Not black enough.
Okay.
I need the process.
Of those three, honestly, this feels the most like
that's most like Charlie Brooker. Yes, this is the process. I need the process. I need this mirror to be looking at black us. Listen, Nita says precious.
Wait, hold on,
Oh,
wait.
no.
Missa, Judge Binks.
Oh no, George.
Missa the precious.
George. Wow.
Is this a Black Mirror episode?
My name is Charlie Brooker. My name is Charlie Brooker. I'm a Black Mirror, and I've cast you in a part that we've just made up. You're not busy G. We've cast you raw. We've cast you raw as busy G. And that's the end of it. And we wrote a new part for you.
Mr. White.
You're going to carry around a computer. Can you do that, James? James, can you carry around a computer?
I can do my best, Charlie.
You're
Mr.
a
Brooker.
computer engineer.
Mr. Brooker, I can.
Please, Mr. Brooker is me pop.
Oh no.
Call me Charlie. Charlie Brooker.
Okay. All right.
Was that closer or farther?
I would say it's honestly a blend. If you blend those two,
split the difference,
and put the slightest bit of Hubie in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Charlie Brooker. Mr. Brooker is my dad. Mr. called Charlie Brooker. I want you to play not BPG.
He was. I wish I could. He was something like. It was like he was a little bit. Wait, hold on. It's a little bit. Look,
Right.
You know, I'm what a bit. You know, somewhere in there. Did that make sense? It's like a little bit more timbre in it. You know, a little bit of bass in it.
Bass in it. Oh, you put his hand on his heart a lot, does he?
He thought, you know, because
Right.
he could feel it when he's talking.
James.
He
James.
could feel it a little bit. He
I
could
feel it here. Right.
Yeah.
I want you to play a character I'm calling Habanero.
Oh, habanero.
Habanero. Habanero. Habanero. He carried around the computer.
Look,
Right?
habanero.
Right?
Habanero.
Habanero.
Yeah.
Habanero.
Right.
Habanero.
Right.
Habanero.
Right. Well, not a bad.
Right.
Not a bad take on the.
Not a bad take. Not a bad take on it.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
More or less.
Somewhere in there.
I felt like I was back on the set of 3 with Landis.
George is
Beverly Hills
very
Cop
proud. He's been waiting for you to compliment him, James, on the one time that he worked as a comedy performer.
Okay. Yeah.
Usually he leaves that territory to you. He doesn't try to get into comedy in
Okay.
front of the camera. But
This is no disrespect. Okay. First of all, you're wearing the shirt, which is
That's
wow.
that's my new look for 2021. 2021 better be fun.
You look great, honestly, George. And you're great in that. You're great in that. You know, because it's always nice when you get a cameo and someone is like, they're just very dedicated in that. You know, they don't.
It's just about being present. I never played the comedy of the scene. I played that the character was bothered because the cue system, the line had been disrespected. He'd been waiting and wanted to go on the ride.
Exactly.
And he didn't understand that there was a larger. My character was not part of the story. He didn't understand that Axel Foley, he's a police officer and he's on a case. He's trying to solve crimes.
Yeah. And this is his 3rd time doing this unorthodox, you know, sort of not a cross jurisdiction, kind of detective work, you know.
Right.
But you had nothing to do with that. You know, you were
the character. He's with a woman. He wants, and he feels he has, he feels embarrassed, quite frankly, that this man has humiliated him. So I just drew on that. I just thought like this man has been humiliated by another man.
Yeah.
And he's not happy about it.
Yeah. Honestly, great. I didn't do much thinking about your role in this movie before, but yes, that is all of that is very, very much there, very real.
Not his story. It's not his story. We just see a little glimpse of it to show that there's to imply that there's a wider world, but it's not his story. It's Axel's story.
Yeah,
that's what we can't. It's right there in the title. He is the Beverly Hills Cop, the 3rd.
George, I hate that.
Like you, James.
And I know that actors hate, you know, getting this kind of question. But can you say the line?
Hey.
Thanks, George.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, it's like you're there.
I can hear the Wonderworld music in the background.
Yeah.
And,
I do want to show. I haven't shown off my shirt tonight, and this is from Bring the Noise. Was it during the holiday special?
Yeah,
I don't remember when Jason said this. I think it was during the holiday special. Manzukis was talking about Boba Fett. Spoiler alert: killing Bib Fortuna, and he said, "Yep, nub, I want that tuna." And
wow,
that is now.
James, do you watch The Mandalorian?
I do.
Are you caught up?
I am caught up.
Okay, so you know that Bib Fortuna is dead. Thank you, Patrick, for no spoiler warning there.
I did spoiler alert.
Not enough.
I don't think you emphasized it.
Not enough.
I think it's fine.
You think it's fine? A man is dead.
You're happy? Look at Patrick. He's laughing. James, we've been talking a lot tonight about what kind of comedy we find funny.
Yes.
But we have been avoiding a very dark truth at the center of the George Lucas talk show, which is our own Patrick Kottner is something of a Joker-esque figure. The only thing that makes him laugh is when people die.
That's not fair. There are two
things.
There are two things that make me
funny. What else?
When people die And our
And
list.
our list. He finds our list very fun. But James, we were doing a show. We had been live streaming for hours. Patrick runs onto the stream, eyes wide, grin, bright, and goes, guys, you won't believe it. We said, what? He said, legendary composer Ennio Morricone has died. This is real, James. This is real. And we spent the last several months reeling from this, trying to figure out what is it this man finds so funny about great people dying.
Come on, Patrick. That didn't happen. Something else happened. Don't tell me this.
Okay, I'm gonna take you, Watto, George. I'm gonna take you guys off. Is that okay? We were like 9 hours into a stream, James. I was delirious. I didn't know what was going on. I said, guys, breaking news. I need to tell you about this breaking news. And they're like, what is it? Did all the world's problems get solved? And I was like, no. Ennio Morricone died. It came out a little bit happier than I meant to, but
okay.
Yeah.
I want to
Patrick,
do, James,
very interesting choice of words, Patrick, that you co-opt the title of one of Eddie Murphy's most famous comedy specials, right? Wasn't that Delirious? Was that one of those?
Yeah. Okay, I want to do two impressions.
But when Patrick does it, it's just 2 hours. It's just 2 hours of him explaining Ennio Morricone is dead.
Right. In front of Madison Square Garden, and everyone
Patrick
else is shocked and
delirious.
Yeah.
James, I want to do
Patrick
two
in a
impressions.
tight leather suit breaking the news to Madison Square Garden that Ennio Morricone is dead.
I want fan art of that. Give me I want hand-drawn fan art of that.
James, this is my impression of Patrick's impression of him delivering the Ennio Morricone. Okay? I don't know. Ennio Morricone died. Okay, now this is my impression of what really happened. She's dead! He's finally dead! Oh, I'm tickling my ribs!
Okay.
Spot on.
Listen.
Spot on.
Zero exaggeration.
I'm gonna say, I feel like because I just watched Cobra Kai, and there's a lesson that they talk about in this. There's Patrick's side of the story, there's Watto's side of the story.
Yeah.
Then there's the truth. That lies somewhere. I wasn't there. I don't know if this footage exists somewhere.
Oh, it exists. If you want to dig through 250 hours of footage, it exists.
Okay, I'll find it, and then I'll know what really happened.
Hey, if anybody out there wants to clip it out and put it on the stream, then Patrick can play it really easily because we have the rights to that footage.
It's probably pretty easy to find because you know what week it is. Like, you can figure out what week it is.
Yep.
Yeah, you can figure out he was pretty quick on the draw. Like, look at what time it was announced, and timing is everything in Patrick's world of comedy. And the closer to the actual announcement of the death, the funnier it is to Patrick.
You know what? Let's do a little test. Let's make Patrick full screen.
Let's make him full screen.
I'm not doing it. Oh,
Patrick?
Yeah, I want to. Oh, no.
I have just refreshed Deadline.com. The top story. Tanya Roberts, A View to a Kill Bond girl, that 70s show actress, dead at 65.
Who is she? Is she the mom? Donna's mom? Who is she?
Let's see.
Not that it matters.
Yeah, will it change the level of humor you find?
Is she a guest star? Is she a guest star?
I'm going to look it up.
She's Donna's mom. Everyone's saying it's Donna's mom. That's really sad.
Look at him waiting. That grin is peeking out.
There it is.
There it is. Jesus Christ. There it is. My God, you sick motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Look at him hiding. You can't hide your laughter.
A great woman just died, you pig.
Jesus Christ. This guy, you tried your best. That was your best, Patrick. That was you trying your best. You muted yourself because you're probably making laughing noises with your mouth closed.
His face is red.
Starting out laughing right now.
Wow.
Unmute yourself, Patrick.
mean, you saw
Look
it
at him.
happen
He's
in
trying.
real
He
time.
won't unmute himself because he's making laugh noises.
I'm unmuted.
He's unmuted now.
You'll never convince me
mean-
that wasn't 20 seconds of you farting laughs somehow with your mute button pressed. Making a big show of how tightly closed your mouth was while you somehow managed to laugh out of your ears, nose, and asshole.
George.
It's hey, I'm not the one laughing at the actual death of a human being, Patrick. Don't try to scold me for going slightly vulgar in this moment. Oh, he's wiping away his tears of laughter.
I'm crying. I'm sad.
Oh my God. Do not do this. Patrick.
Oh, it's genuinely sad. I'll say that. It is genuinely sad.
Wow,
Yeah,
he
it
can't
is
even
sad
say the
that you
phrase.
find
It's
it so
genuinely sad without sneaking out a little chuckle.
Sad.
Here, let me do a pretty good recreation of what Patrick just did. Hold on. It's genuinely sad. I will say it's genuinely sad.
Oh no.
He just like let that little laugh explode out on the phrase genuinely sad, which he'd already said once. You'd gotten away with it, Patrick. You said it's genuinely sad. I will say that it's genuinely sad. That's the thing that I can't. You're showing off, Patrick, because you had said the phrase "it's genuinely sad" with a straight face. You were scot-free. You were in the clear. You could have said, "Oh, he's sad."
But here's my
genuinely sad without laughing. But then
I
you
have
had
to
to
ask,
circle
though.
back around.
Because this is within the context of a comedy show, right? So like sometimes when you laughing at something, it's because something happened earlier that was funny.
It's true.
And then something happens that you shouldn't laugh at.
Yeah.
But you still have the residual effects of the earlier thing.
Do you know what I was thinking about? Do you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about James being the guy who feeds Phil.
Great. Just being James for a second. I just need to talk to James because I got to protect him a little bit. James, you're such a good guy. You're such a good person. I know what you're trying to do, but it's not gonna age well. You do not want foot. I know you're trying to help Patrick out.
Yeah,
we love Patrick. We love him. He's one of our nearest and dearest.
It's a great guy.
Just trust me. You're gonna want to scrub this footage of you defending him on this time. It's not gonna age well, James.
Okay, but I'm not
5 years from now when he is legendary for laughing at every death announcement.
But George, I'm saying I'm not necessarily defending laughing at death. I'm saying sometimes you laugh at something inappropriate because of a thing that happened before, though.
So true, so true. I just don't want you to get trapped in Patrick's literal comedy wake. All right,
you're right. Thank you, George. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm just looking out for you because I want to see you. I want to see you in a Nazi killing movie.
Me too. I'm working on. I'm writing it now. I'm writing it
back. Otto and Patrick, let's come back in. Oh, I guess they don't want to come back.
It could just be us.
It's fine. I'm cool to hang with you, James. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever see Radioland Murders?
I've never seen Radioland Murders. I mean, but I'm just looking at this poster behind you, and it looks very exciting.
Yeah. It's actually a comedy about death, but we take the death part seriously. Like the death part isn't a joke.
Right, but then everything around it.
Yeah, crazy
but then what
live
happened?
Radio in the 1930s when TV was on it was just it's a different world.
But see, George, what happens in your film? Someone's watching Radioland Murders.
Yeah.
And then they're laughing at everything around the murder.
Right.
And then they didn't get that laugh fully out, and then someone else dies. Because I'm assuming there's multiple murders. There's a plural murders.
Yeah.
So then someone else dies, but they're still laughing at the last thing.
I should be clear. I should be clear about two things. One is that it's a great film comedy, and two, I've seen how an audience laughs at the movie, and it's very infrequent, and it doesn't linger.
Okay.
It wasn't that kind of comedy. Some comedies you laugh all the way through it, and some comedies it's just like, oh, they're very quiet. They must be really liking this, and it's the latter kind of comedy that we made. So the audience is thoughtful. Some of them are even leaving.
Intentionally made a comedy for people to not laugh at, you're saying?
No, I made it for laughter, but they took it a different way, and that's fine because as we've established, there's lots of different kinds of comedies. I always thought this was the kind of comedy that people wanted to laugh at but didn't, and then and then some of them would not finish it because they liked it so much that they were like, I get it.
Right. I don't need to laugh anymore. Okay.
Yeah, I've had enough of how great I like this. Bye bye.
Sure.
I'm going home now. Oh, they're leaving. Yep, I liked it. Great. It's that kind of comedy.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
It's more Beef House than Full House. Do you know what I mean?
I again wasn't as familiar with Beef House as I could have been, but I understand Full House reference.
How wooed
from Jar Jar
and from Full House.
That's what. Now here's my question: when you wrote "How wooed,"
yes,
was that
yes
an homage to Full House?
But it's not. It's an homage, but because this is one of the things I love about comedy and storytelling is because the prequels take place before Full House, it's not joke stealing. It's the same reason I had to say "Excuse Me," which is from the Wayne's Worlds.
Now, just because you said it previously, that doesn't mean it is still joke. It's not a reference, but it is still it is still the joke.
How could it be joke theft if the joke hasn't happened yet?
Well, because in the timeline that people are viewing it,
yes,
it has happened,
right? And
so then therefore people go, it's that other joke,
right? But also it was a movie and that was a TV show, so also how would that work?
What you're saying that movies and TV shows can't.
You can't. A movie can't steal a joke from a TV show.
How is that? How is that true at all?
Well, because Wayne's World started out on TV. So when I took "Excuse Me" and put it in a movie, I was taking a joke from TV, putting it in a movie. TV should be flattered.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's great exposure.
Okay. No, you're right. But
then when I said it beforehand, then it's like, well, also it can't have been theft because it's playing on the two levels. One is that movies outrank TV.
Yeah.
So you should just be flattered. If a movie says I take your joke, like if someone made any movie, movies can take anything from TV. And TV should be like, thank you.
Because movies are higher. Or more yes.
It's like in the animal kingdom where like a giraffe will like eat something that maybe a hedgehog was like eating. I don't know.
Right.
Because they have a big neck. Movies have a big neck.
Yes, I think I follow.
Right? That's a metaphor.
Yeah, the movies have a big neck. I there's more tape on the film roll.
Oh, we should make a movie, James, you and I.
George, this is the whole thing I've been talking about this whole time, because I wanted to be in Red Tails and was not in it.
Right.
And, but I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this moment where, where we can, you just go start. George, George, you're just gonna dance to New Year's Eve fairy tale while I'm trying to. What?
James, just so you know what that was.
Beautiful is what it was.
It was beautiful, but we often we do very long shows for charity. We do fundraisers, 10 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours, etc. 31 hours at one point. But then we decided we also wanted to do some short shows every now and then. And our short shows, we use a format that we call the Irishman Plus, which means that we try to be at least 1 minute longer than The Irishman, a Martin Scorsese picture that is now out on Blu-ray from Criterion.
Those are our short shows.
Our short shows are at least 1 minute longer than The Irishman. And whenever we reach that Irishman Plus, we like to dance.
That's beautiful.
And thank you for dancing with us.
Of course, absolutely.
Oh,
I
so much
cannot
fun.
hear music and and not dance.
This is our friend Vlad Gushenko, who is a great resource of royalty-free music. And we have found that sometimes, especially when you officially hit an Irishman Plus, it feels good to be Vlad.
Yeah. It
Sometimes
really
it
does.
feels good to be Vlad.
Sometimes it does feel good to be Vlad.
I think sometimes it feels good to be Vlad. But I also feel like whenever we pass the Irishman Plus, I get a different kind of feeling, almost like the after show feels like it's run its course and we've shifted into a different gear, you know?
Yeah. I get that. Do you really think it's shifted, George?
I'm
I
just
feel it.
confused. What would it even shift into?
I think it would. Should I howl too?
Yeah. Now, James, this is something that we call George Lucas Talk Show After Dark.
Oh, snap.
So I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah.
Very glad you're here.
I'm glad that you're getting to experience it. There's not much that's different, except the whole vibe is different.
Okay. Not much, but everything.
Not much, but everything.
All right.
And sometimes we howl like a wolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're all
We're all wolfmans now.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, after
Right.
dark we become the wolves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you think if you made an after show to your kind of show, what would the differences be? Like if you had a talk show and you were like, well, now it's the after show time, it's the talking bad time, it's the whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Watto, how are you feeling? You got your menorah.
Yeah.
What else changes for Watto?
The sunglasses,
Mm-hmm.
and I become a wolf man.
You know, someone said it in the comments, but sometimes I forget how complicated this show is.
Also, Puppet Watto has his sunglasses.
Oh, Puppet Watto has sunglasses too? That's good.
Yes, Puppet Watto.
Yeah. Wow.
There are times when this show feels like, what if a fever dream had continuity?
It's fun because at the beginning, filling out 4 hours of these shows felt hard. And now 3.5 hours of each show is just explaining things from previous shows.
It
makes it a lot easier.
We got to figure that out.
No, we don't. Patrick, you're banned from Facebook. We're not going to take advice from you.
James, I got banned from Facebook today.
I didn't know that. Wow, today?
Today, literally like a half hour. I only got banned for 24 hours.
What you do though?
James,
James, there's a lot of bad language that flies around the internet, right?
Yeah.
People call each other horrible names.
Mm-hmm.
Would you believe that Patrick got banned from Facebook for using the I word?
What's the I word?
I don't.
The
Can
word.
Can we say it on here?
I've been saying
Word
it.
imaginable.
I've been calling you it as a joke all night, Patrick.
It's such a bad word, James. They banned him. The word is so bad.
James, I called a guy an idiot.
Oh.
And I got banned for 24 hours.
He's throwing around titles of Dostoevsky novels. This guy.
Yeah. No, I'm saying you was that was evil though. That's low.
I know.
Well,
you're
calling people idiots.
I'm so glad that Facebook has its priorities in place. That you can start a group called Jews Will Not Replace Us and be fine, but you throw out the I word one time.
You're done.
Well, it's all about, how many people reported that I word, though.
James, I'm going to tell you something. It was almost instantaneous. It was within 10 minutes.
So you said who you call an idiot. Maybe that's part of it.
I called some guy who was saying that the president was totally within his right to threaten governors and lieutenant governors. Just some guy. And I was like, you're an idiot, man. Shut up. And I didn't even say shut up. I just said you're an idiot.
Wow.
And that was it.
Hate speech. They flagged that.
It was hate speech.
You got banned. How long you banned for?
24 hours.
For just a day.
Just a day.
I can't believe that.
I'm going to bring up these pieces of fan art. They're from our good buddy Ken Plume. This is Watto's endorsement.
Yes. A strong endorsement.
Taco Bell Toasted Cheddar Chalupa. George's endorsement. Beef House.
Yes.
Patrick's endorsement. When People Die and Arliss.
Look at how hard you're laughing in that one.
Sharpling. Wait, can I make a quick plug? We haven't done this all night, and I feel like I should. Guys, if you're watching it and enjoying the show, it would be really nice if you could toss a few bucks towards the show. A, because I have to mail out a lot of toys this week, so it would be great if we could help offset the cost for that. And B, just to help out behind the scenes, all the producers and people that you don't see. So if you want to toss in $1, $2, $4, $5, whatever you want to do, it is super helpful.
Patrick, are you saying that people should donate money to keep the lights on at Planet Scum?
That's what I would say. Keep the lights on. George, what are you doing?
I'm testing something out.
Okay.
Testing out a theory.
Well, if anybody wants to be a $1 friend or a $4 friend, it's very, very helpful. Thank you. Testing out a theory. George, are you going to call someone an idiot?
I'm just curious because clearly Facebook has a... Let me see if this works.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay. Oh, wow. I do also want to say someone just liked the endorsement tweet, and it was our good buddy Leah Thompson, which feels good.
I just created a Facebook group called "The Word Idiot Is Not So Bad."
Yeah.
Looks like they approved it.
Wow. George, I hate to do this. This really stinks.
What?
I'm really upset about this. Someone sent me something.
What?
Now, George, Watto, you guys weren't here for this. Our good buddy George R.R. Martin and Vizirian were here. But Bring the Noise did, in fact, find the Ennio Morricone part.
Let's do it.
Novel that was worth waiting for. And the thing is, I'll talk to Bob Iger. let's say in the next 2 weeks, I'll try to set up a meeting. And I'll say to him, Bob, I want to write a 1,600 pen novel. And he might say to me, we will not authorize this. In which case, I'll just do it for fun. And no one will read it.
George, can I break some genuine news on this stream?
Sure. Yeah.
No. Oh, no.
Why'd you say that as if it was going to be fun?
It wasn't fun. I never said it was going to be fun. This is genuine news.
This is bad news, and you present.
I thought it was going to be good news based on your tone.
No. Liveness to it.
You know that we talked about how Tarantino was watching 1,600 Pen while he wrote The Hateful Eight, and now a mere 12 hours later, you bring us down. We've tried so hard to keep this positive, and now you've really soured the stream.
You set that up with pure Krasinski energy. I was ready.
I can't believe you did that when we had guest hosts.
I know. I remember just watching that the next morning and being stunned, but also grateful that I wasn't there when it happened. Instead, it was Mysserian and George R.R. Martin, two very different people.
Two very different people. It's weird because I remember it as if it happened to me, but that's how vivid it was when I watched the footage back. I did not recall that was George R.R. Martin.
Same here. Same here, baby.
We haven't seen them in a while. I hope they come back.
I have it on good authority that the reason that George R.R. Martin has not come back to host the show is because he's very busy working on recapping Gilmore Girls. Not for public, but just for his own... just as a little distraction, because he's been working so hard on The Winds of Winter that he needed a distraction. And so I believe he's rewatching Gilmore Girls and writing recaps for his own, he's not going to release them, just for his own sense of just to pass the time, you know?
Does he like the cliffhanger, George?
The cliffhanger at the end of the Netflix movies?
Yeah.
I think he does like it because it's challenging, you know what I mean? But please don't say it to me because I'm not caught up.
Okay.
The George R. Martin has watched it. I think he's watched Gilmore Girls and Bunheads both.
Yeah, no
quarantine. I know George R. Martin has watched Gilmore Girls and Bunheads at least once during quarantine because he can't spend all his time working on Winds of Winter. Now, so far, it seems like Facebook, who banned you instantly for using the word idiot, has no problem with a page being created called The Word Idiot Is Not So Bad with Missouri Senator Josh Hawley's image as the main image for the page. If you want to cite that page in your appeal to Facebook, say, why did you let this page exist?
Yeah.
You know?
But see, maybe it's this idea that, like, if there's a group, if there's a group of people that are in support of it, then it's not.
Wait, George, what? George! Oh, no, George. What happened? A look into Skywalker Ranch, a rare view of Skywalker Ranch.
George, did you just fall out of your chair? I feel like George is proving the point you were making earlier, James, that physical comedy is always funny.
Honestly.
Do you know what would have been the worst?
What?
Like, George is clearly okay. He's really doing fine. But if he wasn't, the very first thing I had done was laugh.
Yeah.
Is he okay?
Oh, is he okay?
I don't know. Maybe you were laughing too soon. George, buddy.
George.
Hey, George.
What happened?
How you doing, buddy?
It feels so bad to fall out of an office chair because you have a point where you can lean and you're very secure. And then the point from where you're very secure to where you not only are not secure, you cannot go back.
Can someone clip that for us so we can watch it again while we're on this stream? Clip it and send me the clip. Oh, George.
You all right though, George? I mean, you good? I mean,
yeah.
Tweet it at me.
You know
What?
why?
What?
Oh,
Someone is saying they already
Why?
clipped it. That doesn't help me.
something fell and I was worried that I had broken it
Wow.
because it made a loud noise.
What?
The Jar Jar watch.
The Jar Jar watch.
Well, no, it's not my only Jar Jar watch.
Oh, a Jar Jar watch.
Let me find my other Jar Jar watch. Come on, where are you at? I got this Jar Jar watch.
Idea that like if there's a
And this Jar Jar watch.
Wow.
2 Jar Jar watches.
George,
Look.
we need to ask again. Are you doing okay? You don't sound good.
support of it. Then it's not. Then it's not.
That's pretty funny, George.
That's good stuff.
It's good comedy.
James, did you like that?
I'm glad you're okay, but yes, I did.
Both things can be true.
From a certain point of view.
A certain point of view. I hope this Howard poster's okay.
James, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Yeah, what's your favorite Star Wars?
Oh man, I probably got a couple, but
Okay, I like
I can rewatch, A New Hope through Jedi. I can rewatch those a bunch. What's the one? Rogue One. I really like that one.
You like prequels? So you like the prequels?
Yeah, I mean, I like Rogue One. Rogue One is really good. Huh?
We just need to. I'm James the Third, and I like Star Wars prequels.
I'll say this. I will say this to you, George, because because see, this is the thing that people don't. This is the thing that people don't realize about the prequels. Okay.
Great.
In the last, what is it? The last like 2-3 minutes of Revenge of the Sith, when all the dominoes everything comes together. You're like, oh shit. This baby going over here, that baby going over there. Oh, he got the suit on. That was fantastic. I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
Those 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those 3 minutes.
Okay.
Those 3 minutes of the prequels.
Can we get great? We have everything we need just now. Can we get, because I know that we were doing that thing again where what you were saying wasn't fully making sense, but can we get a clean edit? He just said, I love those 3, and then you said some more words, and then you said the word prequels, and I think we just tighten it up. It'd be great to get an edit of I love those 3 prequels.
George, this is revisionist history. You've been doing this all night, George.
It's what we call it, a special edition.
You can't have a special edition on real stuff, George. When stuff real and it happens, George, you can't be like, this is the special edition of life.
Don't test him.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Me oh my. Oh me oh my. Oh me oh my.
Wow.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
It just struck me while watching you fall out of that chair. The laugh we all had. I thought to myself, there's no business like show business.
That's like no business I know.
Every single thing about it is appealing.
Well, I mean, everything the traffic will allow, yes.
nowhere can you get that happy feeling than when you're stealing that extra bow.
James, I don't know if you know this, but there's no people like show people.
They don't run out of dough. I do know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. They even with a turkey that will fold. You may be stranded out in the cold. Still, you wouldn't change it for a sack of gold. Let's go on with
the show.
Now, James, the butcher, the baker, the grocer, and the clerk are secretly unhappy men because, well, the butcher, the baker, the grocer, and the clerk get paid for what they do, but no applause. They'd gladly bid their dreary jobs goodbye for anything theatrical. And why? Watto, do you know the answer?
I think I know. Can I venture a guess?
Yeah, try it out.
I would propose that it's because there is no business like show business. And I tell you, it's so. Traveling through the country is so thrilling. I mean, standing out in front on opening nights, smiling as you watch the theater, feeling. And, there's your billing out there in lights.
The costumes, the scenery, the makeup, the props, the audience that lifts you when you're down,
the headaches, the heartaches, the backaches, the flops,
the sheriff who escorts you out of town.
I mean, the opening when your heart it beats like a drum.
The closing when the customers don't come.
You get word before the show. It started that your favorite uncle died at dawn.
Oh, stop laughing,
Patrick. Don't
stop laughing. Don't laugh.
On top of that, your pa and ma have parted. You're brokenhearted, but you go on.
Yeah. Yesterday, they told you would not go far. That night you open. There you are. Next day on your dressing room, they've hung a star.
Let's say the last part all together. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go on with the show.
And may the force be with you always.